original.
No, here, you saying it's going straight to voicemail. Now, come on up.
Sorry, I need to grab my glasses.
This is case number 184453501. People of the state of Michigan versus Shavonte Jackson, defendant is charged with one count of assault or assault and battery. Today's the date set for restitution here. Appearances, please.
Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P860029.
And for the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Shavonte Jackson. Ms. Jackson, may I please tell the judge your full name? Shavonte Jackson.
All right, today's set. Are we ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is ready to proceed, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, the people call Ms. Ethel Drake to the stand.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yeah. You may be seated. Mr. Henderson.
Good morning or good afternoon, Mr. Drakeford. Could you please introduce yourself to the court?
Ethel Drakeford.
And Mr. Drakeford, we previously were here in a trial regarding the defendant's guilt or innocence. And today I'm going to ask you some questions about your injuries, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you tell us what injuries you suffered on February 17th, 2018, when you were assaulted by Ms. Jackson?
A head injury, an eye injury, back injury, and pelvic fracture.
And I didn't hear last part.
Pelvic fracture.
So I want to talk to you about those in turn. So first of all, did you go to the hospital or did you go to urgent care after you were injured?
Yeah,
Okay, and what urgent care did you go to?
was an urgent care.
And was there a part of your treatment that was not covered by insurance? Was there anything you had to pay for that
Yes, just a
out of
copay.
pocket?
A copay.
And were you given a document to indicate what you had to pay?
Yeah,
I apologize, Mr. Nixon. Did you Did you ask a date already, or you didn't?
I did, I asked her about February 17, 2018, which is the date of the offense, but did you go to urgent care on February 17, 2018?
Yeah,
Permission to approach the witness.
You may.
I'm handing you a document that has been marked as Peoples 1 or P1. Do you recognize that?
yeah,
And what is it?
we said $30 for urgent care.
Okay, so it's, you said it's the receipt from the urgent care?
Yeah,
Okay, and does it appear to be an accurate reflection of what they gave you regarding how much you owe?
yeah,
Has it been altered in any way?
no,
Your Honor, people move, People's 1 into evidence.
Any objection?
No, no objection to that.
He was supposed to.
And could you, now that it's been admitted, could you read the number, what the copay was?
$30.
In your Honor, can I publish that to the? Now, after that specific, visit, did you make any other, visits to the hospital or, a doctor's office within the next few days?
Yes, on January 19th,
Okay, and where did you go on January the 19th?
Providence Hospital ER,
Okay, and why did you go to the hospital on that day?
because I had frozen in my eye.
And when you got there, what test, if any, did they conduct?
They did a CAT scan.
And did they do any other types of tests?
No, just CAT scan.
And did you receive a bill for that?
Yeah,
Okay. And was that from Blue Cross Blue Shield? Or is that printed on Blue Cross Blue Shield?
it's on Blue Cross Blue Shield, but it's also a billing for, Providence Hospital.
Okay.
Permission to approach you?
You may.
I'm handing you what's been marked as People's 3 or P3, and then each individual sheet they're labeled A, B, and C. Do you recognize those documents? Or that document? Those documents?
Yes, I do.
And what are?
My copay that I would have to pay if Blue Cross be cover the service.
Okay. And does it look, is that a fair and accurate representation of what you received from Blue Cross Blue Shield?
Yes, and there's also a bill.
Okay.
Specifically, $107.
You have to keep your voice up. I can barely hear you.
Specifically for the $407.
And you can just hold it for another second. There are some alterations on this document that weren't printed out by Blue Cross Blue Shield, right?
Right.
Do you know who made those
I
alterations?
did,
So the handwriting on the document, is that yours?
yeah,
And why did you make the notes?
to verify that this is for my ID from Providence Hospital ER. And to let you know, some of these bills I did not pay.
The people move for People's 2 to be admitted in evidence.
So you said two. And it's two. A,
B, and C, yes, sir.
Okay. Any objection?
Can I just take a look at that again, because I'm not. Can I ask a couple questions, Ron?
Can I see the document? You may, for your respective exhibits two.
Okay, just, good afternoon, Ms. Draper. Okay, so for clarification, are you offering these exhibits to show, a bill that you got from?
He has a bill.
No, but are you offering these exhibits to show something that you did have to pay?
That I would have paid if I paid. I did not pay those bills. They're still lingering.
Okay, so you're offering these, now approach the witness, Your Honor?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, all right. So,
There's also.
No, ma'am, hold on, let her ask her question.
okay, so I'm gonna just show that piece of paper to you. Okay. Okay.
Your Honor, I apologize, and Ms. Stevenson, I believe I said P2, that's actually marked as P3.
I thought so.
My apologies.
I wrote down 3 at first, and then, that's okay. So is it, those are P3s?
They are, and I have P2 in my hand.
Okay.
Those are,
Thank you, because I thought maybe I just heard it wrong, but okay, thank you.
Okay, so did you have a chance to look at that, Ms. Drakeford?
Yeah.
Okay, now take a look at that, and then I'll. So, do you offer this particular exhibit to show that you owe, you owe Providence Hospital $26.02?
Yeah,
Okay, all right. Okay, no objection to those being in there.
All right, then having no objection, the court will admit people's proposed exhibits 3A through C as exhibits A through C.
and could you tell us what on the first page that is marked as P3A, how much you still owe on that bill?
this was $26.02 first.
And that wasn't covered by your insurance.
No, it's not.
Okay. On the second page, which is P3B, how much is owed?
$124.33.
And on the third page, P3C, how much is
$407.45.
owed? And in your honor, permission to publish to the court.
You may. All right.
So, it's straightforward. After, let me ask you this. Did you seek any treatment for your eye? For your vision? Or
Through Providence Hospital or through another person? Providence Hospital?
or did you seek it through another person?
Yes, at the Providence Hospital, I went to a specialist.
Okay. And did you have any outstanding charges from that specialist?
No, not at this time. It was $10 left, but I paid and then I gave the receipt to it.
Miss, permission to approach the witness.
Okay.
Straightforward. I'm going to hand you a document that is marked as Peoples 2 or P2. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
And what is that?
this is a receipt from Dr. Furman and Super Fraud.
Your voice, I'm sitting right here, straight for, and I'm having a very difficult time hearing you, so you might need to move the mic, like, I know that plexiglass is kind of in the way. Yes, it might be better. Okay, now, she said that was what, can she
Could
repeat
you tell
that?
us what that is again?
It's a receipt for services rendered by Dr. Berman and Zuckerberg.
Okay, and that's much better, so let's leave it like right there.
And, okay, before I, ask you, or ask you an exit, do you still owe them anything?
No, I don't. I paid my copay.
Thank you. Governor, just for a clean record, it's been identified as P2, but we're not moving P2 into evidence.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Drakeford, Mr. Drakeford, after you received, treatment, from that ophthalmologist that we just talked about, did you receive any other treatment?
Yeah.
And what was that for?
I went to a pain rehabilitation doctor,
And do you know the name of that doctor?
Dr. Bykowski and Dr. Jankowski.
And, why did you go to them?
My back was hurt and I had bruises on my body.
And you said your back was hurting. And I believe you said that your back was injured during the, assault.
Yeah.
How was it injured in the assault?
You want me to describe what happened to me? Or how do you want me to do that?
So if you could just, like, during the course of the assault, how did you, injure?
I fell backwards and hit the floor.
And, when did you notice that you had injured your back?
Pretty much, that night I was just aching, but pretty much a day or two later, something was wrong.
And what was wrong?
I was aching and pain in my lower back.
And, prior to this attack, or this assault, had you, had pain in your lower back?
Yes, I have.
And what was that from?
From pushing, nail around, I had lumbar strain and, like that. You know, I already had pain in my back.
So how was the pain that you felt after the, assault? Was that the same
No.
or different than what you felt prior to the assault?
It got worse.
And how did it get worse? Can you describe that for us?
I have muscle spasms that go from muscle spasms and back pain that go from a few seconds to hours. The only way you can relieve it is through medication, heat pads, things like that, and just lay down and wait till it goes over. You have to wait. So, and the other thing is, I had a problem with sitting down. When I would sit down, I would hurt under my butt.
And had you had that problem prior to, the assault by Ms. Jackson?
Not up under my buttocks.
And who did you seek treatment from, with regards to that pain?
I started off with Dr. Jankowski, Dr. Bykowski. Okay, and there was also a doctor named Dr. Hahn. He was on the Sun Medical. Then after that, I went to Dr. Ferguson.
The last name there, Ferguson?
Ferguson.
Thank you.
And me just a second, Your Honor. Moment to get all these stickers on that. I was doing it.
That's okay. How many exhibits do you have, you know?
Remember, I anticipate that there will be 11.
Okay, I want to try to go, well, what I'm thinking is we'll go at least till 1 o'clock to see where we are. If we're still going, we'll have to take a break because the staff, despite the fact that where we. I have to break them. I need to break them.
I'm doing my best to be done.
Don't rush, Mr. Henson, I was just trying to get a gauge. But these nieces still have to cross-examine, but I'll ask the staff if it looks like we'll finish till 1:30. I didn't say that, the sentence is correct. If it looks like we might be finished by 1:30, maybe not mine. Why is my face up there? Was I the only one on the Zoom?
You're two.
Spot like you.
Mr. Drake, I'm gonna ask you another question while I'm marking these exhibits, because I think we need to. So what did Dr. Bitkowski do to manage your pain?
Give me steroid shots, epidurals, and physical therapy.
And
Mr. Henderson, can you tell me what was Dr. Bitkowski treating?
yes,
Okay, thank you.
okay, so what was, I believe you said, maybe epidurals, what was Dr. Bitkowski treating?
My lower back.
So he's treating your lower back for pain, and you said he gave you, you say epidurals?
Steroid shots, epidural shots.
And were those procedures able to manage your pain? And you said you went to Dr. Jankowski?
Yes, both of those doctors are in the same place, on the Summit Medical.
And what did he do?
Dr. Jankowski,
Yes,
pretty much just treat me for the same thing. I only saw him a couple of times. Jankowski.
and after you went to him, was he able to manage your pain?
No,
So where did you go, or where, if anywhere, did you go next?
I went to Dr. Ferguson, Andrew Ferguson.
Was he in the same practice or a different practice?
Same practice.
And what did he do for you?
Outside of taking MRIs, ultrasounds, CAT scans, giving me steroid shots, physical therapy, and then doing an orthogram where he ran a dye down in my SI joint and discovered a fracture in the pelvis.
Okay. Question for court, so
You may.
right, Miss Drakeford, I'm handing you what's been marked as P4. there are pages A through, I believe that's 13 pages. If you could just
A through,
M,
thank you.
if you could look at that and tell me if you recognize it,
Yes,
and how do you recognize it?
these are itemized statements from Blue Cross Blue Shield. What I have done here is highlighted what I had to pay. Big Cosby, Jen Cosby, and other doctors.
And I believe that you highlighted on there, Dr. Masri as well.
Yeah.
And why did you go to Dr. Masri?
Dr. Masri was under he was a doctor dealing with Dr. Ferguson. So I would get charged for Dr. Ferguson using his facility, surgical facility downstairs on the first floor.
So you're being billed from Dr. Masri for something that Dr. Ferguson.
Yes.
And then if you could, so there are markings on this document. Who made those markings?
And
And I want to specifically refer to J, K, L, and M. What do those 3 pages, what are they?
four pages where I went through the itemized bill and wrote the totals down.
Okay, yes, sir. J. So what did you say those were again? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sorry. You still said J through M, but then she said 3 pages, so
She said,
how many pages are we looking at? I wrote down J through M. Is it 4 pages or 3?
I believe it's 4. Is that correct?
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to do my numbers in my letters
That's all
at the
right.
same time.
Okay.
And you said these are what?
These are my co-insurances, co-pays, or deductibles that I would have to pay if Blue Cross didn't cover whatever they did.
So you essentially did addition on these pages.
Yes,
Okay. And where did you get those numbers from?
off that itemized bill.
And the numbers, well, first of all, other than the notes that you've made, are there any other deletions or additions to this document? Has anything been changed at all in these documents?
Nothing has been changed other than me scratching this out after I made 2 phone calls to verify information.
Is there any handwriting on this document that's not yours?
Off my hand.
And Your Honor, the people would move P4, specifically P4A through M into evidence.
Any objection?
Sure.
So, very quickly first. Ms. Drakeford, the handwriting on these pages is your handwriting, is that?
Yeah,
Okay, mentioned.
people consider 4 acres MRU.
So, Mr. Drakeford, I'm not sure if I asked this before, I just want to say, everything that you have tabulated on this document, is that money that was not covered by insurance?
Yeah.
Is that money that you either paid or still owe?
Okay.
I'm gonna refer to, P4M. What, after you added everything that you paid for this treatment, what was that total?
When I added the whole 4 pages,
Yes, ma'am.
I come to a total of. Yes, right. Well, this total on this paper is $1,216.30. I think I had added something like $25. I had skipped one on itemized.
I didn't hear the last thing Ms. Draper said.
What was the last thing you said? Mr.
I think I added $25 because I had left off one of the documents on there.
The final you have on this page, you said was $1,216.30.
$1,216.30.
Commissioner Published. And Mr. Drakeford, what was the time frame of when you saw Dr. Witkowski to Dr. Jankowski? What years was that?
2018 and 2019.
You said you saw, after that, you saw Dr. Ferguson.
Yes, I saw Dr. Ferguson, but we kind of missing the neurologist.
Okay, and who was that?
I forgot his name because that was in March of 2018.
Well, let's talk specifically about Dr. Ferguson for a moment. What did, I know that you said he treated you for pain management. What did he do? What treatments did he provide?
Steroid shots, nerve blocks. He did MRIs, CAT scans, ultrasound, and then when he still couldn't solve the problem with what was hurting me when I would sit down, he did an optogram.
Say that, but you
He
know,
did an optogram. I think that's how you pronounce it, optogram.
can you try to spell it for me? I'm like, spell it phonetically, like what you're saying, whatever.
ARTHROGAM.
Underground.
Yeah, optogram.
Okay, thank you.
And with that, he ran a dye in the SI joint to see if it would run out. Said if it ran out, you have a fracture.
And do you know what the result of that test was?
I had a fracture.
Did you receive any medical we looked at billing records. Did you receive any medical records from Dr. Ferguson?
And records, his statements.
Where he records what's going on on your visits?
I don't have.
If I were to show you a document, could you tell me if you'd received that from Dr. Ferguson or not?
Yes, right. It's a statement.
Permission to approach, Your Honor.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna hand you, I'm gonna hand you a document that's been marked as People's File or P5, A, B, and C. And I just want you to look at it and tell me if you recognize it.
Yes,
Okay, and how do you recognize
it's a medical report from Dr. Ferguson.
it? Okay, did you receive that from Dr. Ferguson?
Yeah,
And could you just look at it and see if it appears to be changed or altered in any way?
we only have 3 pages. There's 4 pages.
Okay,
And other than that. I'm sorry, she said, what did she
She
say about
said-
the page?
she said, you have 3 pages, you only have 3 pages, but there are 4 pages.
Thank you.
And other than that, it's just a marking up at the top, black and out.
On page 3, or what we call P5C, there are some things that are underlined, right?
Yes,
Who underlined, if you know?
I underline.
All right, and did you underline that before you provided it to people?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the people move, for P5 to be admitted that.
Any objection?
Yes, I'm gonna object to that, Your Honor. It sounds like, well, hearsay, in that it sounds like any information that the people want the court to consider from that document should be presented by the prosecution.
Why is it hearsay, and this in restitution?
Um,
All the rules of evidence.
I don't know that I don't believe that all the rules of evidence are suspended, even at the restitution here. And so our objection is hearsay, Your Honor, in order for it to be most reliable, for the information to be most reliable, the doctor who prepared the report should be here. In addition, I think Ms. Draper just testified that the record is incomplete.
So that part, yes, but let me ask, okay. I wrote that exhibit 5A through C, which she says should also apparently include another page. I said it's a medical report. I wrote, that's what I wrote down. It's a medical report from Dr. Ferguson. For what purpose are you attempting to admit it?
Your Honor.
Are there any numbers on it? That's not a good question. Don't answer that question. Is there any payment information?
There's not any payment information on this, Your Honor. But it's Ms. Drakeford has stated that her back was injured and that a continuing treatment was done because of that. And this has a statement by the doctor that ties that together that's in this report. I believe that is, if I may, Your Honor, I believe that he's basing his statement off of a self-report. In other words, Ms. Drakeford's the one describing the injuries. He wasn't there, so.
Well, let me just be clear. The document is hearsay. Yeah, okay,
Yes.
but my question is, at a restitution hearing, both judges. Turn right to, hold on.
Where are you?
So currently I'm in 6-4, let's see, I'm in MCR 6-4 and I'm at. It says post judgment, motion to amend restitution. That assumes that restitution is already ordered, but I'm gonna read it just to see what it says. Say much, okay, that just tells us that the person can request it, but hold on. What I'm gonna do in order to I'm not able to write that. That didn't say what I needed to say. However, I can. Trying to. Okay. Restitution here. They say about probation violation here. And this stuff, I mean, and the rules of evidence. Give me 1 second. And then I'm reading these, I don't even know, I didn't read the court rule that tells me the rules apply in this report, but I'm just saying this. That is relevant. Except for the things. That's, so probation violation. Court rule, again, this isn't a restitution. I didn't find one for restitution here, but it says, the evidence, okay, the probation, I'm gonna where it, and then it says, the court may consider only evidence that is relevant to the violation alleged, but it need not apply the rules of evidence except those pertaining to privileges. State has the burden of proving the violation. We should send this to, so just for now, in the case of, I'm going to admit it for a limited purpose, but I presided over the trial. I presided over the trial and I remember the trial. It was a jury trial, so I wasn't the trier of fact, but I remember the trial. I presided over the case, so I do know what Ms. Draper claims to have occurred that resulted in the assault for which Ms. Jackson was convicted. I'm gonna allow it. I guess I kind of think it goes to weight and not admissibility, and it doesn't have any numbers on it, so it doesn't really assist the court.
So I have another objection then that it's not relevant, Your Honor, because we're here.
But are you gonna make an argument that her injuries weren't as serious as she's claiming? Because then it becomes relevant.
Well, I guess that I don't know that anybody here is expert enough to make that argument.
I know, but that's why I said it goes to weight, not admissibility. But if you're gonna argue that her injuries are not as serious as she's claiming, then I think it is relevant. And I'm gonna admit it based on that. I don't know what your argument is, and I'm not trying to limit your argument.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm in a position to make that argument.
Okay.
But I am arguing with regard to relevance, if we're here for a restitution hearing, the document, the purported exhibit doesn't have any information as to what kind of expenses Ms. Draper occurred or what the exact expenses are. We believe that's better shown on a different document if they have.
And I agree. So then actually I'm gonna switch off and change my rule. I'm actually going to, at this time, I'm not gonna admit it. But if it becomes, if it becomes an issue based on your argument or like an objection to another document that does have like any type of copay or any type of where she's asking for money for that, then I'm gonna revisit my decision. So right now, with respect to people's exhibits 5A through C, they're not admitted, but the ruling is without prejudice.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So did you receive a bill for the services that Dr. Ferguson rendered?
Yeah,
And was that sent by Dr. Masri's practice?
yeah.
Me too, yeah. Sure do, and call all this.
And I just get so.
This is her.
Ready?
Yes, sir. First
All right.
approach.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna hand you, Mr. Drakeford, a document that's been marked as People 6 or P6, A through E. Do you recognize that?
Yeah,
And what is that?
statement from Dr. MIBryant or Dr. Ferguson.
Okay. And there are some markings on it.
Yeah,
There's a cover sheet. And is that your handwriting on the very first page, which would be A, P6 and A?
the only thing that I did was sign signature. This is the manager's handwriting right here on the first page.
After that, on pages B through E, whose handwriting is that? If you,
The rest of the handwriting. Mine.
I'm sorry.
The rest of the handwriting is mine.
Okay.
okay. And why did you write it?
I put on here that I could not get 2019 and more in 2020. There was an error in the statement. $233 and $3,600.
And I don't want you to testify from the document just yet, Mr. Drake, we haven't admitted it, but let's, on the last page, which would be E, whose handwriting is it?
Mine.
And what were you, why did you mark the last page?
I took the balance that was there. I took two things that were billed by error and I subtracted it. And then the balance.
So that was for you to report how much that you paid.
Yeah.
And is this an accurate reflection of the document that you received from Dr. Mastry with regards to the services provided by Dr. Ferguson?
Yeah.
Your Honor, the people moved People 6 into evidence.
Any objection?
Just, I have a couple of questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, just Ms. Drakeford, I wasn't sure if I heard your answer to Mr. Henderson's question, okay? I think he asked you why you wrote these notes on on the proposed exhibit?
On the on the last page,
You want to look at it again?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, on the last page.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did I write it? I took the balance because there's an error in the statement that, Blue Cross would not cover. And so Dr. Ferguson had to take it back. Okay, so I circled the two prices where the error was, and I took it and subtracted from the total, so that it would just show what I had. Without that error, that error was, if I could say it, $3,600 and $233. So the total of the bill was $4,149.56. Blue Cross refused to cover the $3,600 and the $233, and that's down.
All right, so why did you write that?
So to show what I had to pay.
Okay, did you pay that?
Yes,
Okay, all right. No objection to that.
All right, so People's Exhibit 6, agency is admitted. Yes. And Ms. Season, I'm assuming that you have copies of it. Even if it's electronic.
And Your Honor, I've done my best to provide everything that I have to Ms. Stevenson. There were some documents that were received only yesterday. That was the earliest that I had been able to talk with Ms. Drakeford and confirm those numbers. So my apologies to Sister Counsel for the lateness of some of this, but I did provide everything to her prior to the hearing.
Okay, and then, well, what I'm gonna do is I'll leave them here in front of
Thank
you.
you, thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Ms. Drakeford, did you ever seek treatment from Dr. Kumar?
yes,
And what did he treat you?
my lower back.
And what treatments did he, or what treatment did he provide?
I think over there was just like a steroid shot.
And did you receive any documents from him with regards to billing in this case?
Yeah,
Straightforward. I'm gonna, permission to approach.
You may, and you have permission for the
Okay,
rest of the hearing.
thank you, Your Honor. I'm showing you what's been marked as People's Exhibit 7, or P7. Do you recognize this document?
yes,
And what is it?
it is, I believe all these come from Dr. Kumar. And it's just his billing, and it shows the copay that I would have to pay. But on this bill, I did not pay,
You haven't paid it yet.
I have not paid it yet.
I do apologize. That sounds like a new doctor, a different doctor. I'm not saying.
Kumar, she said, yes, sir.
Kumar. Okay, thank you. And what number, that was number 7?
Yes, sir. And I'm also gonna hand you P8 and ask you if you recognize that.
Yes,
And what is that?
this is from a statement from Kumar Surgical Center. And it's for 70, the copay that I had to pay, would have had to pay was $71.40. And I did not pay this one.
And or with either of those, if they've been changed or altered in any way?
No,
There's writing on P8. Whose handwriting is that?
mine.
Your Honor, the people would move for P7 and 8 to be admitted to evidence.
No objection.
Okay, and the court, I mean, it's 7 to 8. Yes.
Straightforward. After this, did you see Dr. Sadiq?
Yes,
What did you see him?
I went to him for a second opinion on my hip.
And why did you go for the second day?
I just wanted, I wanted to, when someone is telling me about doing a surgical procedure, I want a second opinion.
And what did he do other than give the second?
He read over the notes of Dr. Ferguson, and he gave me just a temporary alternative to the 2 screws to be put into my hip, to correct my hip.
And what was that alternative?
It was to burn a nerve in my lower back so I could bring the pressure,
So,
some
Your
pressure
Honor,
off
at
my
this
hip.
point, I really feel like I do have to offer an objection to, I hear what Ms. Drakeford is saying.
It's a
and I
long speaking objection.
Yeah, this is absolute hearsay. It's absolute hearsay.
Did you receive any billing from the procedures that Dr. Sadiq?
Yeah,
Permission to approach, Your Honor?
Remember,
Oh, that's right.
I know it's a, and then I'm gonna throw you off the next time you're in front of me, you can ask and I'm saying. I mean, it's the, like, see, I'm doing stuff like that.
Your Honor, may I approach?
By yourself?
No.
Or maybe a group?
Maybe.
Okay.
So would you? That money, you know. Yeah, why don't you do that? Because what I can see is if. Okay. That should happen. That should happen. Yeah. That's the process. All right, that's fine. Just remind me of your case. Oh, no, I don't need that. You don't have it. That's fine. I don't remember your name. Oh, okay. All right.
No,
Okay.
For the record, Your Honor, when I say Siddiqui, I'm referring to a man named Siddiqui.
S-I-D-D-I. That's not how I spelled it, but that's good.
I believe it's in Arabic, but, Miss Drakeford. Um. Okay. So I believe you said you received this bill from Dr. Siddiqui, and he did, what did you say that he did again?
Burned the nerve in my SI joint.
Okay, so he treated you, so
Yeah.
for lower back?
Yeah.
Okay. And what, on this document, is there a record of how much you paid?
Oh, is there total?
Is there a total of how much you paid on this?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, the people move, P9, A through E into evidence.
okay, so Ms. Draper, what's the amount that you paid on this particular, is it when you showed you again?
Yeah.
Show to me.
Now, is this board here or across the camera?
This is just, before I, make sure I don't have any objection to the exhibit.
The actual amount I paid was $494.01.
Okay, thank
The
you, ma'am.
difference
Thank you,
is-
ma'am.
Okay.
No objection.
All right, then, people's exhibit 9, A through E is the minute. Yes.
Ms. Drakeford, did you receive treatment from the advanced surgery center in Dearborn?
Yeah.
And who was the doctor who treated you there?
Dr. Ferguson.
Dr. Ferguson.
Did you say Advanced Surgery Center?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And what did he treat you for there?
My lower back and my hip.
And did you receive? Let me ask you this, just to be clear. Was all of the treatment that you received from Dr. Ferguson at the same place?
Yes.
So it was all at the same practice? Or
Yeah.
different places?
It was all at the same practice unless he went, it's the same building,
Okay,
unless he went downstairs to do surgical procedures.
okay, and is there a difference in the way it was billed depending on where he was?
Yeah.
So we've had a previous bill from Dr. Ferguson. I'm going to show you something else and ask you if that's the same. I'm going to hand you what's been marked as P10 for people's 10. Do you recognize that?
Yeah.
And how do you recognize it?
This is a statement from
Your
Dr.
voice
Ferguson.
is trailing off again.
This is a statement from Dr. Ferguson. $234.55.
And is it, there is some markings on it. Whose markings are those?
Mine,
Does it appear, other than your markings, does it appear to have been altered in any way?
no, ma'am.
Now, the people who move
And
forward,
I do apologize for your information. Did you say the date on that?
I did not, could you tell us what day was on there?
There's several dates on here, 11/20, 19, 12/3, 19, 9/21, 2020, 10/5, 2020, 10, okay, 8/25, 2020, 9/9, 2020.
And are those indicating dates that you received treatment?
Yes.
People move for P10 to be admitted to evidence.
No objection.
All right, then people, exhibit 10 is admitted.
Judge, do we have a 5-minute break?
Yeah.
On consent.
Okay. what you saying. Process that. Okay, I think you're all back in place, and let me know when you're ready, and just so that everybody's aware, it's actually 1:26.
Ms. Straightforward, did you see, Dr. Thomas Park?
Yeah, did you say Parker?
Park.
Thank you.
And, do you remember when you saw him?
I went back to see him in 2020.
And what did you see him for?
He's a psychiatrist.
And why did you, how does what the service he provided relate to, the assault by Ms. Jackson?
I informed him that I had been attacked.
And so what services did he provide?
Counseling.
I'm gonna hand you what's been marked as P11, A, B, and C. Do you recognize it?
Yes.
And how do you recognize it?
It's itemized statement from Dr. From Thomas Park.
And
Gutierrez, Dr. Gutierrez.
there's Mark, pardon,
Dr. Gutierrez.
Gutierrez.
Mhm.
Okay, so who provided the psychiatric?
Dr. Gutierrez.
And there's marks on the first page. Who made it?
I did.
And why did you make those marks?
I was adding up the fees.
And I believe there's some circles or underlines.
Yes.
What are those marks?
Adding up the fees.
And then on the second page, who's marking?
I marked it.
And are the sessions that you've marked, did those relate to this incident with Ms. Jackson? Did you talk about, what did you talk
I
about?
talked about everything. Anything that was troubling me, I talked about. And I let him know that I had gotten attacked and injured.
Did each of those sessions involve talking about the assault?
I have no idea, no real idea. That was back in 2020, but he understood that I had been assaulted.
Just speculation.
None of the people moved for P11 to be admitted.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, it's good.
Thank you, Your Honor. And that concludes my direct examination.
Okay, so let's kind of go backwards. Good afternoon again, Ms. Draper. So of the bill that, or the statement you get from the psychiatrist, you said that, do you know how many times you actually talked about this incident?
No, I don't. I don't remember back then.
Okay, and then of the exhibits that you have supplied, there are several places where you're making notes, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, can I see the exhibits?
I don't have Mr. Henderson has all except the last one.
Okay. Okay, so People's Exhibit 4, which is kind of like a bunch of spreadsheets. Now, let's have a look at that. Okay, now can I ask a question? All right, so did you create this table yourself?
No, that's a itemized statement from Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Okay, is Blue Cross Blue Shield, they have any logo or anything on this table that you submit?
I'm not sure. I have to look at that.
Okay, all right. So take a quick look through there and see, just tell me if you see any contact information or logo, address, phone number, anything that says that was created by Blue Cross Blue Shield.
No, but I do have all these statements.
Okay. All right, so Ms. Drakeford, how much much restitution are you asking for, ma'am?
Through those statements, I just simply added up Dr. Bukowski's, because that was in
Draper?
2018.
Your Honor, I'm gonna ask the court your administrator to answer my question.
Please answer the question.
How much restitution are you asking for, Ms. Draper?
I have to go back to that paper that he had. I wrote it down.
Which paper did you wrote down one number on a piece of paper?
No, it's a total.
Okay. Somewhere you wrote down the total of the restitution you're asking for?
Yes,
Okay. And wrote it,
from off those statements, from off the itemized bills. It was the 4 pages with totals on them.
did you total those up?
Yes,
Okay, do you have any idea how much the total is?
I have to see what's on that paper.
All right, okay. And then,
I think it was 1,200.
Right now.
well, what do you think it was?
I thought it was 1,200 and some dollars.
So you believe that you're asking for $1,200 in restitution?
That was in co-pays. Co-pays,
The
co-insurance.
question is, do you believe that you're asking for $1,200 in
Yes.
revenue?
All right, and so, there was a time, Ms. Drakeford, when, you said that you've been treating with some of these physicians over before the time of the incident?
I was under Dr. Jankowski and Bukowski before the incident happened to
And what were you treating with them for?
my injuries from the post office.
Okay, how long did you work at the post office?
5 years.
Okay, and so did you treat with Dr. Bitkowski,
And
at least since 2017?
yeah,
Okay, and did you treat with? Did you treat with, the physicians over at the Summit Medical Group at least since 2016?
Dr. Bukowski and Jankowski on the summit now.
Okay, and they were treating you for injuries that you sustained from working at the post office?
Yes.
And had you sustained those injuries maybe about 19 years before you started seeing them?
Yeah.
Okay, so by the time you come into contact with Ms. Jackson, you had already been treating with physicians for what, about 20 years?
Yeah,
Okay,
for not 20 years, it's about 18 years.
about 18 years for injuries that you sustained through working at the post office. Okay. And do you remember during the course? I don't know.
Oh, okay, any direct, Mr.
No, you're.
I have a question, this question, and it's related to, I think it's, well, I'm not sure what you did, because it's not serious, but it's related to the back spasms. When did the back spasms start? You said, I wrote down that you had back spasms prior, or I'm sorry, excuse me. I wrote down that you had back pain prior to the assault, but then you said the pain got worse. And then my question was, when did the back spasms start? Was
I've
that-
had back spasms all through the time that I got hurt before.
I'm sorry, you said.
I've had back spasms all through the time that I was at the post office. And when I got hurt, when I flipped back again, those things get worse.
Okay. And, okay. And then one more thing, I think, I wasn't sure, council, who, just so I can know, again. Well, I actually had two things. You questioned her about, I shouldn't be talking to you, I'm sorry. You were questioned about exhibit 11, which was the bills from psychiatry. But there were two names, you said Dr. Gutierrez, but then you said Thomas Parks. Who was the psychiatrist?
That's the name of the office,
Okay, what's the name of the office?
Thomas Park. That's the person who's over that office, but Dr. Gutierrez is the person.
That you saw.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. And then with respect to that exhibit number 11, this looks like the same as exhibit 4. So are you saying that this was a printout from
Yes.
Cross Blue Shield?
No, that came from, Dr. Thomas Park.
This printout, that's the top sheet right here, you saying that came from Thomas Park's office?
Yeah.
Can I see exhibit 4, please?
Yes. This is exhibit.
Oh, maybe that's not, oh, no, you're correct. This is not one. Oh, I see, okay. Thank you. This is what you said, you were saying this came from Blue Cross.
That came from Blue Cross.
Okay, great. All right, I don't have any other questions. Any questions?
I'm
Based on my
sorry,
questions?
what was the exhibit you were questioning about?
This was just now when I held it up, exhibit 4.
Okay,
I've been working with exhibit 11 that she says came from Thomas Park's office, and then exhibit 4, I held up, and she said that was from Blue Cross. Okay, any questions based on my question?
No, you're not.
no, thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You may step down. I'm gonna say, I will entertain your argument, but I'm not gonna make my decision today. I need to look at these based on and compare with Lynise testimony, but I'll hear argument.
Yes, Your Honor. Just very, very briefly, so, exhibit 1 is $30 from the urgent care.
Hold on, I'm sorry, let me put these in. Okay, yes, you can go ahead.
Exhibit, and that happened the day of the injury, and I believe she testified was directly related to her head and face. Exhibit 2 is from Providence, and she said that was 2 days later. She was seeing floaters. She had to have a CAT scan. There are 3 numbers: 407-45, 2602, and 124-33. My calculations are that adds up to 55780. Exhibit 3 was not admitted. She said
You
that
said,
was
I apologize, you go ahead. You said your calculation on exhibit 2.
was
Your calculation is
557.80.
Thank you.
Exhibit 3 was not admitted. She'd already paid that. Exhibit,
Okay, yeah, take this back then.
I believe I have 3 in.
Oh, okay.
Five in my-
I'm not gonna include 3 in my packet because it wasn't, it wasn't admitted.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, because this is.
Or, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but I misstated on the record. Let me withdraw that. The
Oh, wait.
exhibit 2, Your Honor, I apologize. Exhibit 2 was not admitted because those were things that Ms. Stratford paid. Exhibit 3
was admitted.
was admitted,
Okay,
and that was the bill from Providence that I said, by my calculations, add up to $557.80.
okay, yes, okay, so that, yes, okay,
Exhibit 4, I think, is the largest one, both in volume and money that we have, where it's Dr. BnPXKluFi40 and Jankowski, and Ms. Drakeford's notation on that is $1,216.30. that's her adding up, her treatment for those. Exhibit 5 was not admitted. Exhibit 6 was. Oh, exhibit 6, pardon me, was Ms. Draper testified that was from Dr. Ferguson, which adds up, where she added up to $316.56. Exhibit 7 is from Dr. Kumar. It's a statement from $27.08. Exhibit 8 is from Dr. Kumar. It is $71.40. And 9 is from Siddiqui, which has the printed total is $423.91. I believe there's some handwriting on there that indicates there were additional fees. I believe those were convenience fees for using credit card to pay those bills. So I'm looking at the $423.91 total on that. That's just printed.
Are you referring to the?
9.
Is it 9?
Yes, sir.
I don't see 400 and anything on here. Where are you? Are you talking about here at the top?
Yes, sir, at the top. Exhibit 10 is from Dr. Ferguson. She said that there were 2 different ways that Dr. Ferguson was billed based on where he was at the building. And so that has an additional $234.55. If we add all of those up, my calculations are that is $2,877.60.
Okay.
Now, so I'm given a few different numbers, so that's one number. But then if we add the psychiatric care, which was exhibit 11, billed by Dr. Park, but performed by Dr. Gutierrez, that's $175, and that would bring, if we put all of the admitted exhibits together, what Ms. Draper was requesting, my count is that is $3,052.60, and so we would ask the court to impose restitution in this case, and that's all. Thank you.
Oh, never mind, I got it.
So I need to look at the exhibit so I can
Here they are.
follow along. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, so, I'm probably not gonna have any objection to, exhibit. Just the urgent care, and then I'm probably not gonna have an objection to, the,
When you say objection, you mean?
I don't have any argument against, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Against, the Blue Cross Blue Shield. Okay, so I won't have an argument against 3. I have, so People's 4, Your Honor, is a table of something, and I don't know, I don't see in here anywhere that is documentation from Blue Cross Blue Shield. I think that's who Ms. Draper said it came from, but I don't see that anywhere, Your Honor. And so I do contest the reliability of exhibit 4. It looks to be a table that's been created by someone And it looks that like the handwritten notes at the end of the exhibit are clarifications that are offered by Ms. Draper. I believe that she indicated that that's her handwriting. So without some further substantiation, I am gonna contest the reliability of People's Exhibit 4. And I'm gonna ask the court not to order restitution pursuant to any information that's provided in Exhibit 4. With regard to People's Exhibit 6, I am having some trouble just kind of figuring out what it is that they're saying that, what that vendor, which I believe is the Michigan Specialty Clinic, I did not understand exactly what they're saying Ms. Drakeford owes. I do see the handwritten note that Ms. Drakeford has written. Just again, I suppose to clarify or to try to interpret this information, but in that I don't see where it says from the Michigan Spine Clinic what Ms. Drakeford owes them. I'm questioning the reliability of that of People's Exhibit 6. I don't have, I'm not gonna contest People's 7. I'm not gonna contest People's 8. I don't have a basis to contest People's Exhibit 9. I don't know what the services, I do contest People's Exhibit 10. I don't know what that, what those service dates are, what the services actually. It's a statement that shows financial activity, but I can't tell from that statement when the service were to have been rendered. I
Who
just
is
have,
Exhibit 10 from?
I'm sorry, Judge,
Who is,
Advanced Surgery Center LLC.
thank you.
And with regard to People's 11, Your Honor, by her own statement, Ms. Draper was not able to say, this is the psychiatrist. She wasn't able to say which of the appointments for which she's seeking compensation dealt specifically with this incident. And so I wouldn't, I have an objection to the approach. And the court, you know, has listened attentively, I know. So I believe that the court understands. I know that a defendant takes her victim as she finds her. But
This is an hour. I'm sorry. What did you say about 11?
so 11, the psychiatrist, is that the last one? Dr. Park?
Oh, I'm looking at, I'm sorry. That's 10. I'm looking. Okay, thank you. No.
Okay,
Good.
all right,
Yes.
so I am asking the court to take into consideration that at the time of this incident, I guess both, looking at the fact that Ms. Jackson has been found guilty by a jury. First time, jury was not able to come to verdict, but the second time, the jury did find that Ms. Jackson was guilty of assault and battery. We didn't have a finding from the jury as to what, misdemeanor assault and battery is any kind of harmful or offensive touch. So the jury don't know that the jury was persuaded that Ms. Drakeford suffered the injuries or was injured in a way in which she claims to have been injured. The police officers report, first responders who showed up and didn't arrest anybody saw Ms. Drakeford had a scratch on her chest and had some redness on the side of her face. That doesn't mean that any, the injuries that she's talking about, the pain and all that other kind of stuff. I don't have an argument against the possibility that whatever. That whatever, again, Ms. Jackson takes Ms. Drakeford as she finds her. When they get into what the police, the first responders describe as a mutual combat situation, they weren't able to determine who the aggressor was. Nonetheless, the jury did find that Ms. Jackson was guilty of assault and battery. So I'm just asking the court to just take a look at the nexus between the charge itself and the alleged, not the injuries itself, but the expenses surrounding those injuries that Ms. Drakeford says she suffered. I do want the court to know that, I guess we're not at the probation stage yet, but I think that's all I have.
Anything else from people?
No, Your Honor, except to say that the people trust the court to make the right decision with the facts.
Okay. I agree. So let's do the date. When is this? Jackson, does she have a review?
I think Tuesday, I want to say,
Oh, is she on the docket Tuesday?
I mean,
What's her next court date? I mean, if it's Tuesday, that does work for me.
It's the 30th.
Okay, well then I'll have my decision on the restitution Tuesday.
okay,
All right.
thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, it's on Zoom, it's not in person. Well, am I in person on Tuesday? Her review is not in person, though.
No.
Am I in person on Tuesday? Ms. Dixon should know if she have in here in trial.
There is a review at 10:04, but
Oh, no, that's.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's on Zoom, her review.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so I'll have my decision on Tuesday.
Thank you.
All right,
Judge Alexis Reynolds provided the receipt.
okay.
They're out.
So, yeah. Make a copy of her receipt. Is she still here? Make a copy of her receipt.